My name is Jen, and I am on a journey in order to break free from the destructive patterns of disordered eating and in order to embrace a nourishing lifestyle. My roadmap can be described using an acronym of the word Nourisher. So I'm doing daily video blog posts in order to encourage you, equip you, and keep you up to date on my progress. If this content is helpful or encouraging to you, please consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and sharing with others. It is my deep desire that these videos would help to ignite nourishing transformations in us all. Hi everybody, welcome to day 20 of my Nourisher Check In. My name is Jen, and it is so good to have you join me as I reflect on my day using the Nourisher acronym. Here I am, sty and all. I have a sty in my eye. Proof that this is not a photoshopped event. And yeah, let's just dive in. And as I look back and reflect back on this day, there's lots of different things going on. So noticing my emotions, the very first emotions that I noticed, I had a very difficult interaction in the morning that brought up some really big, strong emotions in me. Sense of fear and abandonment and anger and frustration and overwhelm, some really big power packing emotions in there. And then as I went through the day, I was able to finish a project that brought some great relief and some excitement and some excellent, really fun interactions with the kids after school. Some great times in nature that was involved joy and delight, and really a huge mixed bag of emotions throughout the day today. So I want to camp out a little bit on the emotions of the morning, some of those more difficult to process emotions. And we talked yesterday about this idea of how we can sometimes process these more difficult to manage emotions by feeling the pain, identifying that pain, sharing that with a trusted loved one, and then going through a process to help quiet those emotions. So definitely that was helpful for me this morning. But the one emotion that I find very, very difficult to process, I wonder which are harder for you, but a very difficult one for me to process is anger. So we all learn how to process emotions differently in a number of different ways, through a number of different models, primarily perhaps through our family of origin. And I learned some wonderful, wonderful things from my immediate family. And anger was not something that I experienced or that we showed in our home, at least that I can recall or remember. So learning how to process anger has been a very new challenge for me. And I remember even as I got older, people encouraging me to get angry. And I thought, why are you encouraging me to get angry? Because I had a very negative connotation with anger as being very immature and wrong and sinful, and only bad things happen out of anger. And I didn't see that so often that which makes us angry it's actually like what helps reveal that which is important to us and critical to us and special to us, and the things that make us angry often illuminate that which is most dear to our hearts. And I didn't see or experience that. I did a lot of being angry at myself. That was very typical, a lot of shame, a lot of negative self-talk, but being angry outwardly at others was not a big part of my experience. When I was in my early 20s, and went through a fairly significant depressive episode, at that point I came in contact with a definition of depression that was, depression is anger turned inwards. And I was bewildered by why people were saying this or what this meant, because I was not angry. I was sad. I was other things. At one point, became very, very almost incapacitated. But I was not angry. I had nothing. I couldn't think of no one or nothing that I was angry at. And yet this anger was turned inwards like an arrow at my own heart, with lots and lots of shame and negative self-talk in there. So anger, all to say that anger is a difficult emotion. If it's a difficult one for you to process, you are not alone. I am in that boat. It's a very difficult one for me to process. So today, when it came rising up, again, it was a time to listen to that emotion and for me to give it a voice, but not in front of the person that I was, experiencing that anger in regard to, or that situation. So what I actually did is I went for a heavy footed walk. So outside, fresh air, some nice deep breaths, and was able to pound a little bit heavier on the pavement just to get out kind of some of the physical pent upness that the anger had. And then I had to drive somewhere. And so I got in the car and was able to speak out loud, very loudly, what it was that I was upset about. And it sounded fairly ridiculous. And that was good. It was good for me to hear it and to let it out and to almost be my own mirror or my own kind of sounding board to hear what it was that I was upset about, to give it a voice, to listen to that voice, and then to calm that voice. So it was almost like doing feel the pain, share the pain, quiet the pain, but almost with myself internally. So that was a good process. Again, I have a lot to learn about how to handle and process anger in a positive way, and so I hope that we can journey through that together. Opening up to others, again, probably it was more just venting with myself and God today. That was the biggest thing. Not too many deep conversations, heartfelt conversations with others today, but that's okay. And understanding the cycle, what I noticed about me in the cycle today, my eating patterns seemed good, but lots and lots of body checking and comparisons today. Very, very high. And I wonder if it was connected back to that idea that when anger surges, what seems to be, for me, the possibility is that, that arrow kind of wants to get fired somewhere and it's easier to fire it back in at myself. So I need to watch that and continue to process that and see where that lands me in the next few days. So that was very, very, very evident to me that it was not as easy to think lovingly about myself or my body image today. Rewire my brain. I think, some of those kind of stop, drop, and roll kind of moments for my brain to stop, to breathe. I tried some appreciation today, which is just to stop and to recall a time when you felt accepted, delighted in, safe, excited, happy, any of these, really oxytocin rich, very full, serotonin going on all cylinders, basically great feeling memories that you can bring back to help your body get into that place of appreciating and almost reliving those special times in a very tangible way and in a very physical way. And that was a little bit tricky for me today, because sometimes what can happen when you try to recall these positive appreciation moments is you can get what's called a splintered memory. What happens with a splintered memory is it's something that, let's say, for example, that you've had a pet or a loved one die. Maybe the memory that comes up is a memory of that person or of that pet. And although it feels so wonderful, it's splintered by the fact that there's pain behind that memory. And sometimes what can happen for me is when I'm in the middle of a very strong emotion and I'm trying to use appreciation to help me calm and settle and soothe, often I can call up and recall a splintered memory that holds some pain with it, or maybe that holds some of the anger in that memory too. So what I tried to do is something that was a little bit more physical, something that was going to help to a different way to help maybe release get those neurotransmitters working and release some more of that, those positive brain chemicals. So what I did today was something called the half smile. I do it often. I don't recall if I mentioned it here before, but what you want to do is you just want to actually bring your mouth into the smile position, even if you're not happy. Now, this isn't faking it. This isn't trying to put on some show for other people. There was nobody else around. But what it's actually doing is it's actually cueing your brain to release positive brain chemicals in order to help your body to soothe, to calm, to process. So this is one that I do often, and I actually often do it when I'm not in the middle of something really hard, because as you know, I love to practice these things when I'm doing well in order to be stronger for the next time I do have to combat something that's a little bit tougher. So again, just a bit of a, just if all you can do is curl up the corners of your mouth into some kind of a smile. I mean, if you could actually get a real smile in there, great, but just curl them up, and there is something chemically that triggers with the neurotransmitters in your brain. So try that out and let me know what that's like for you, to do that every once in a while. Sometimes what you can do is you can even set a timer on your watch or phone to ding, to remind you to just curl up the corners of your mouth and see how it impacts your mood. The other thing that I find is that when I do the half smile exercise, is that it helps me to then retrieve non-splintered appreciation moments. It's almost as if it helps. I don't know. This would be interesting to see. Somebody out there, somebody who's much smarter than me, can tell me what's happening neurologically here. But it actually helps me relive unsplintered memories of appreciation. I don't know if somehow it's helping me relive times when I was smiling, or I don't know what the connection is there, but that was very, very helpful. Okay, insulin-friendly eating went really well today. Nothing really crazy to speak of there. Also, sleep went decent last night, but I need to be getting more hours before midnight. So that's kind of what I'm going to focus on this week, is trying to get better sleeps. So check in with me tomorrow and see how that went. Hydration went well. Today I was out and about, and again, for whatever reason, when I'm out and about, it just seems easier to be drinking my water bottle all the time, and my water bottles are filled and ready to go for tomorrow down by the door. So I'm really grateful for that. That pattern is really starting to sink in. For exercise, I didn't get a walk in today. I had a busy morning, lots of projects on the go. But in the afternoon, I was able to go in for a good hour, kick around a soccer ball with my daughter. And it was so beautiful, not only to enjoy her presence, but to enjoy the beautiful nature setting of the park that we were in. And then to have that physicality as well was a really special time. And reward, again, we always want to anchor this in, why are we doing this? Why are we going to the hard work of nourishing our bodies, our body, our soul, our spirit, our heart? Why are we doing this hard work of being a nourisher rather than, being driven by disordered patterns of disordered eating? So for me today, the big thing is, the capacity to turn that arrow from shooting at others or from shooting at my own heart, and to actually be able to process anger in a way that is healthy and is. If you're a person of faith, the Bible talks about that in your anger, do not sin. And that never, ever made sense to me, because in my brain, anger was already sin. If I was angry, I was already sinning. I was already somehow violating God or someone else. And this has been very challenging for me to think about. How can the anger itself is not bad or wrong or destructive, but it can be very bad or wrong or destructive depending on if I unleash it on others, or if I hold it and turn it inside and unleash it on myself. So that is, to me, a great reason to keep at this, because I know that so often when I turn that anger pointed towards myself and let it be unleashed on myself, the way that I try to protect myself against the anger that I'm unleashing on myself is to eat, and is to have these unhealthy patterns with food, and to find relief and protection in the food. So I can see the cycle, and to think that slowly but surely we can start to unpack and unwind some of these individual elements definitely gives lots and lots of hope. So thanks for sticking with me. I just encourage you in your journey, wherever this finds you, that there is hope. There is great, wonderful things to live for today and every day. And I hope that I will have the privilege of having you join me again tomorrow.